Okay, so we have come to the conclusion that techniques does not manifest, but it do align you or give you the statement that it's already done, that you would what you desire is done. It just keeps you reminding yourself that it is so. Either or, it's with imagination, visualizing, seeing affirmation, ask formation, feeling affirmations. Does not matter what technique you use, as long as it brings you back to that naturalness of feeling that it's done, the knowing. Remember, this is a knowing, having faith that it is done no matter what. This is not, I don't know how to say it, but guys, if you do this consciously, you must remember that there is science and biblically teachings, religions, so many things that tell you the truth, that it's all about coming back to making the choice, you choosing that new version of yourself, and you identifying with that new version of yourself, that it is done, and the knowing that it's unfolding, and having the faith and the patience that it is so, no matter what you are doing, no matter what is showing up in your 3D reality, in your physical plane. Because remember, cause and effect. Cause is in the mind. Whatever you think in your mind, the reality is just the effect of it. Yesterday's thoughts, the fears, the insecurities, the triggers, the emotional turmoils, everything that you were identifying with is unfolding until the new version of yourself or the new story that you are desiring come to play and play out until you get to that end. All right, remember, we still have a bridge of incidents that needs to unfold, that is natural to us to get us to the end, in the end of the day, and that sometimes can take some time, because every seed, every birth have their own appointed time. We don't know the when. We don't know how the unfolding will be, but we don't need to worry about it. What we need to know and need to worry about is the end, keeping living in the end. That is where we begin, where we make there in our mind whatever that is that we desire, there, here, right now, in the 3D in the present moment. We are choosing that, and we don't make then the future. We don't go then, we make it now. So we make there, here, then, now, because the only time that exists is the present moment. So the more you choose the new story, and you choose the new story consciously, and you saturate your mind with the new story correctly, it will feel natural to you. That new identity will feel natural. And when that new identity feels natural, all the opposing negative thoughts and beliefs and the feelings of the 3D circumstances and conditions will not faze you. That is when you will know if you are doing it correctly, is when you have saturated your mind with the new belief, the new knowing statement of who you are, and the rest will phase away. Neville talked about this. It's not about feeling happy and positive all the time. It's not about trying to force yourself to believe in something, But he said that we need to become that new version of ourselves, that until it feels natural and we identify with that naturalness and the knowing that the story that we want to experience, it is done. So with, for example, whatever it is, it can be money, health, relationships. If, let's say, for example, you have a desire to be with someone and the circumstances is undesired, they have a third party, there's a baby in the mix, does not matter. Your work is not to identify with that version or the news, that story that is in front of your face. Neville also stated, and the Bible also stated, if you are religious or not, all of the great teachers talk about it, to deny all of your senses. And what he means, they mean, is not to decline the 3D reality by being delusional and say that this is not the truth. However, it is not 100% the truth, but it was already solidified because of your past beliefs and whatsoever. The thing is that you should not identify with that 3D reality or the circumstance or condition that is playing out in front of your eyes. And you should not force yourself in the physical by doing anything. You don't need to do anything. What you need to do is to ground yourself, remind yourself of who you are, and create the foundation by reminding you with whatever affirmation is that statement of who you are. Because everything is I am, and whatever you I am after that, that is who you are. So the point is not to identify with whatever is playing out in front of your eyes. Say for example, there is a third party, and that third party is in your face, and there's a baby in the mix or whatever. You just remind yourself that does not value, that does not give me my value. It doesn't make me less being loved, not being less chosen. Accept that what it is for, and remind yourself that anything is possible, that this circumstance and the condition can change, because it is. It's not set in stones. Circumstances, conditions change all the time. How many people were actually supposed to marry and then at the wedding day they don't even go through with the wedding? That's just an example. How many people claimed that they had cancer, and before their surgery the next day they asked the doctors to go and do another scan or test, and they are cancer free. Anything is possible for change, but the change comes with you when you don't identify with that physical condition and circumstances, but you become quiet, you remind yourself of who you are, and you go internally and go to the end story, and you don't get phased. Because if you've done the work correctly by whatever technique you use, and you impressed your subconscious mind and you saturated your mind with the correct way and techniques, and identifying with that new version of yourself, because it's a being game, you become that version of yourself in the new story that you're talking about or want to create. You are the center of that story. So what are you and who are you identifying when you look at the circumstance or the conditions? You are the version of you that already have your end. And if you know that and you have faith in that story, you wouldn't worry about what is going on in the 3D physical plain, because you are the cause and your reality is the effect.